Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own floral headband or crown, whatever one you want to call it, on a budget. The full thing cost me less than $10, and I actually think it's going to be enough to make 2, maybe even 3 of them. So I'm kind of excited. To start, you need flowers. I actually just got all of this stuff at the dollar store. So flowers, I did a couple of different kinds. I got some little ones and some bigger ones. And then you're going to need some pliers or wire cutters. You're gonna need floral tape, floral wire, and then thick floral wire. And then a glue gun, and obviously with glue sticks. So, but let's get started. Okay, so for the first step on the headband, you're gonna take your wire, the thick wire, not the thin wire. And unfortunately it comes like this, but it actually is very, very pliable. I mean, it comes undone really easily. So the first step is you're gonna measure around your head. And what I like to do is I like to put it to where I want it. So it's gonna be, I like mine to kind of go down a little bit farther on the back of my head and to kind of come across my head a little bit. And then because the flowers are kind of gonna be a little bit bulky on it, I make it a tiny bit big, just big enough that I could slip like my fingers underneath. And then I'm gonna give myself an extra, let's say about an extra inch on the wire, and then I'm gonna cut it there. And then we're gonna just cut it, and then we're gonna take the ends and we're gonna twist them. And this wire is, since it's a little bit harder, I'm gonna take my pliers and kind of pinch it together a little bit better. And then the other thing that you can do also with that floral tape is I'm gonna wrap it around mine, especially right where the connection are between the 2 pieces. I'm gonna wrap it around it, and that will also make it so it's not stabbing me right in the head. So then I'm gonna just take where I wrapped that wire around, and I'm gonna take a portion of this tape and I'm going to wrap it around where those wires are twisted. I'm gonna re-put it on my head. See, look, that's perfect. I love the way that that sits on my head, so that'll be lovely. I'm gonna take the thin floral wire, and we are going to take it alongside of this wire, and I'm gonna wrap it around 3 times, and then I'm gonna cut it, and we're gonna just kind of wrap it around like this. We're just gonna kind of loop it in and out of it 3 different times. So you can either wrap it around and cut the whole thing first and then wrap it through again. I'm just gonna wrap it as I go and then cut it when I'm done. So like I said, I've got that wire. I'm gonna take this thin wire and I'm gonna wrap it around the whole thing, kind of loosely, kind of tightly. So now we've got our main wire, and then we have the thin wire wrapped around side of it. And that's kind of just because when you're gluing the flowers to it, instead of being on such a slippery texture, it'll kind of have something extra to grab a hold of. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our flowers, and I'm gonna pull them off. So these silk flowers are nice because all you have to do is literally just pluck them off of the branch, but you don't want this part to be stabbing you in the head. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, when I take all of these off, I'm just gonna take my pliers, or you can use just a pair of scissors for this as well, and I'm just gonna cut it off right at the bottom. So it's more flush, more even with the bottom, so there's not a big chunk stabbing you in the head. And what you're gonna do is you're basically gonna just take your flowers off and just kind of line them up how you want them to look. So this is kind of the basic design I'm thinking of for my first one. And I'm gonna do my purple ones first because they're all the exact same. And they're the biggest. You can see they fluff out quite large. I've got my glue gun hot and ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the end of the flower and I am gonna just pump some glue right onto that spot. I'm going to take the headband and I'm going to glue it down. I'm going to have all of my flowers kind of face at an angle a little bit, if you can tell here, so they'll all kind of lay down a little bit nicer. And I'm also going to add, because the back of this one's quite large, I'm going to add a little bit more glue along the back of it to keep it nice and secure. And this does not have to look pretty on the back, because I have another trick that we're going to do at the very end when we're all done to make it so the backs of these, you can't really see the glue afterwards. So right now it's like a big blob of glue. When we're done, we're going to put something there that'll kind of cover that up a little bit. So that's what I have so far. Every other purple cream. So I decided against the little teeny flowers. I'm gonna just stick with all big flowers. Okay, so now that that part is done, I'm gonna add a special trick to the back. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the leaves that were on the flowers and I'm gonna separate them. So I'm gonna cut them to where they're all individual leaves. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the leaf and along the middle of the stem, along that stem through the middle, we're gonna put a line of glue and we're gonna line them underneath the flowers. So let's do this. Alright, so we're going to take the leaf, and on the inside of the leaf, just straight down the center, we're going to put some glue, and it's basically going to just go right here, wrapping around. See that right there? So we're just going to put a bunch of those all the way around. If you can tell, I'm just going to overlap them a tiny bit. I'm going to do a couple of that one, and then I'm going to do a couple of the other kind, so they just kind of go in. So there's the finished product. It turned out so cute. So another really great thing about lining them with the leaves is not only does it kind of give it a finished look, more of like a green look, it puts a pop of green in it when you're looking at it from this way. You can see all the little peekaboos of green through it. So not only does it kind of brighten it up a little bit more by adding a little bit of that bright green to it, but it also helps with any loose stems or any loose wires that may have been poking through. It'll help cover that up so it's a lot softer on your head. Let's try it on and see how it fits. So I love the way that it fits. It crowns my head perfect. Alright, well, thanks for stopping by again. Thanks for joining me. I hope you like this little DIY project that I decided to do today. See you next time. Bye.